My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to the Darkest Rhapsody Estate, here in the Darkest Dungeon. Alright, on the basis of a comment I received on the last video, I'm going to actually be taking Gordon here. I mean, my roster isn't...
rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
My roster isn't full. Hippocratic will give us an extra point of healing because of the way that rounding works from Adrenaline Rush. But most importantly, Quick Reflexes is really good on DPS classes, especially DPS classes like the Hellion, which aren't, by base, at the very least, particularly fast. Like, Quick Reflexes is probably not necessary on a Grave Robber, but when you're marginal in the midline there, it's definitely helpful. So, soft isn't that bad. I was just looking at it and going, okay, that's a negative, and then added it to the negative of having Fear of Beasts. But if I lock in Quick Reflexes and lock out Fear of Beasts, which isn't going to be too expensive, considering the fact that I just got my Sanitarium double upgraded, so yeah, it's 5.4 in order to lock in a really good one and lock out a relatively bad one. I could see myself doing that right now. Renault is almost certainly going to have to get locked away to remove that lethargy. That's just... I'm not taking you while you've got lethargy, buddy. Okay. Ooh, Camouflage Cloak. Plus 15 dodge if the torch is above 75. Negative 20% to stun resist. I mean, they can't stun you if they can't hit you. That's probably the highest priority one that I've seen so far. And ooh, Bag of Marbles, Antiquarian only. The Antiquarian has all these trinkets that would be insane if they were in the main pool, but they're only for the Antiquarian, and the Antiquarian is notably worse in combat. The Antiquarian is effectively a class that you take along for the fact that they increase the loot that you receive over the course of the dungeon by allowing your gold to stack higher. I don't know if your gems stack higher. In fact, I don't think they do. I think it's just your gold stacks higher, but you also start to find minor and major relics, which stack ridiculously and get you a lot of money. But she doesn't really have that many combat skills that are worth a damn at all. So most of what she does is just stand in the back line and protect herself and occasionally debuff, occasionally do a little bit of blight, and occasionally do a little bit of healing. She's not supremely useful. So the idea is that you pair her with a party that is 3 characters who can kind of deal with stuff themselves, and she's just there to help you get more out of the mission. So her relic set is really, really good to make up for the weaknesses in her character. I think we will be going to the Weald. It's a medium mission. I do want to take Facade again. I'm wondering if maybe... Oh no, I've already locked Renault away. Well, I was about to say I'm wondering if maybe we take Renault, but we're definitely not going to. I mean, I could take the rest of this party and just sub another person in for Renault. Ooh, Vavasaur. Hell yeah. Actually, Dark Temptation is a little bit of a problem in this area. There's a trinket. Sorry. There is a curio with which Vavasaur will be forced to interact because of the Dark Temptation, which is actually a really good curio if you just hit it with holy water instead. I think it's actually... It's either a... It's not a purge, right? I think it actually gives you a positive quirk. That said, Beast Slayer and Warrior of Light, Vavasaur could totally come out on this mission. That's like a totally reasonable party. Especially considering the fact that if Fossard does need to run forward in the first round, Vavasaur cannot. I thought you could punish from the third. Huh. Well, I'll be... So the Flagellant is unique in such a fashion that they can take on the stress of other members of their party using Endure. It lowers the stress of another member by 10 and increases their own stress by 10, and also buffs their own self by 1 speed. And the important thing about that is the Flagellant is only capable of getting exactly 1 affliction or virtue, right? It's always the same one, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it's a state that you often want to put your flagellant in. For that same reason, their camping skills include Lash's Anger, self-only for 1 to give them plus 40 stress, and Lash's Solace, self-only for 3 to remove 50 stress, because they kind of dance in between those. Lash's Cure can remove disease on yourself. Yeah, I mean, we could probably take this party, but I'm starting to think that maybe we should drop out Dismas so that we can start leveling up some of our other characters. I don't want to take Gordon on this because she has the fear of beasts, and this area does have quite a few beasts. Selly, you're a slugger who's mercurial. Rams, sorry. You're a wield phobe, unfortunately. Oh, that's gonna make it difficult to take you out here. Despite the fact you have Beast Slayer, and despite the fact that you'd actually be pretty good here, don't know if I can take you. Russell. Mercurial Yips Natural Eye. Something I want to clarify, the Musketeer is just a reskin for the Arbalist. The skills look different, but they are mechanically the exact same. Then now... I mean, I could put you here. The thing is, I'm effectively looking for a position 2, right? That can move to position 3 without that much negative. Collect Bounty can be used from 3, so can finish him. Uppercut can't, unfortunately, but Caltrops can. And I definitely want someone who has a stun, right? And Uppercut is a stun. Okay. And this is going to start helping me to level up these relatively low-level characters without too much negative. So, Brevdan's probably going to become level 2 at the end of this. Fossard's probably not going to level to 3 after this mission. Hopefully, because I really want to use them against, like, Necromancer. If it's available as an option. Yeah, alright. I think we're going to be going with this party. And for that same reason, I now know who I'm going to be locking in out here. It's going to be Gordon, because I don't have enough frontliners right now. Because I had to really try to build a party with frontliners right now. So we'll lock out Fear of Beasts and lock in Quick Reflexes. And that'll mean next time I come back, you'll be quite useful. So let's sort by level, sort by anything, and our actives will be put at the top here. Open jacket, sure. You can see the increase that we're getting, right? Tattered Robes is 10 dodge base, moves up to 15. HP base goes from 9 to 23. Yeah, neither of you are going to be able to do anything, but we might be unlocking different skills than you. Redeem? Redeem? It's probably not necessary. Redeem would give me the ability to heal someone else for a pretty significant amount, as well as myself for a pretty significant amount. None of the characters that I have, other than Vavasaur out here at the moment, have particularly high HP pools, particularly high max HP. And because Redeem is unique in such a way that it heals by a percentage of max HP, it's more effective when you have like Man-at-Arms who has like a ridiculous HP pool or something like that. I could see myself taking in Dior because we do not have any stress healing in the party right now. Sanguinate is pretty much core. You use it when you're on low HP in order to heal yourself back up, as well as deal a ridiculous amount of damage. Reign of Sorrows is actually pretty important as well. It does 3 points per round for 3. And there's a lot of targets in the back line that we're really going to need to be able to target, especially because Punish can't reach the 3rd line. I could have sworn that Punish could reach the 3rd line. Maybe that's been changed. So I'll probably sub out the Reclaim for Endure. There we go. And now, Come Hither is not bad, actually. Wow, Come Hither now marks? Did it used to mark? I have a feeling it didn't used to mark. Huh. I think I'll unlock Flashbang on you and then just leave it at that. Brevdang, you are already kind of set. Brevdang's also going to be our 3rd liner. pretty much eternally, and then Facade. Yeah, we're set up. We're set up. Cool, cool. What's that? 10 minutes before I get into? I mean, we're slicing the minutes off at this point. All right. Let's go out into the wild. Actually, quickly, just quickly. I gotta make sure that I don't muck absolutely everything up. So, someone should just be holding the blood charm because there's no reason not to. And plus 30% to move resist as well as plus 20% to move skill chance. Hell yes. Worry Stone should probably go on someone who's particularly slow. I don't think we have anyone particularly slow in our party. I can't put it on Ben now because you need to have the stun, right? You're looking at uppercut as soon as it's humanly possible. I'm thinking maybe I put this on Vavasaur. Because Vavasaur is gonna get closer to Death's Door than any of the rest of them. So having a DOT on Vavasaur is a little bit more daunting. I'll put an Archer's Ring on Facade as well. I think the -1 speed when Facade is already so fast isn't going to be that much of a negative, but +5 accuracy could be important. Could also just not be, but it could be important. So in this area, I'm actually just going to take a straight up full stack of shovels. 2 of those. 2 of those. You know what? Do we have anyone with reasonable blight resist? We do. The Grave Robber has pretty reasonable blight resist. Okay, I'll drop the anti-venoms and just take a second bandage. Take only 1 medicinal herb. 3 keys. Single holy water. 2 full stacks of torches? Yeah. All right. That feels like that's me. Let's embark. So we should probably decide what our loot prioritization is going to be. We don't desperately need gold right now.
I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
Unfortunately, exploring 90% of rooms is going to require that I go up one of these prongs. I can ignore this room, which is handy. So I'm going to be backtracking pretty far here, which sucks. But at the very least, this allows me to leave all of the loot that is on the path back to there. Right? And then loot it in low light later. Try saying that 10 times fast. I think I'll actually just lunge here. Yeah. Guarantee a kill.
Impunity.
I'll mark there because their bounty hunter should now be able to definitely kill one. Maggot bleeds. Oh, unfortunately it didn't bleed.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Unfortunately, these guys can both stun, crit, and give disease. Oh, there's the crit.
Blurred vision.
We didn't get stunned. We didn't get diseased, but we got crit twice. Yeah, we got a lot of crit across the party. A lot of stun across the party there. You can see why I was really not keen on having that happen. So because the enemies are so slow, I'm going to take a couple recovery actions here. Okay, good. Very much worth. Good.
Back to the pit.
Really? That's frankly insane. So Fossard's speed is 7. The Maggot's speed is 3, so we're 4 faster than them. Both of us rolled a D8 and then added that to our base score. And they apparently ended up faster than me. I'm going to try and blight them. Hell yeah. Okay, I get another recovery round here.
Inspiration and improvement.
Cool. Rough bleed. And I'll roll the highest crit I have for the kill.
Fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
The Flagellant has high bleed resist by base. Alright, I'll give the bleed trinket to someone else. To lower their chance of getting bled by the occultist. Nope. Hey, this is a really good surprise to have hit. Again, we want to get these down pretty much as quickly as is humanly possible so that they can't use their cytokinetic powers. That's probably not going to bleed, unfortunately. Oh, never mind. Hell yes. Ah, I didn't want to crit. Critting was actually bad there. Even though it gave us some stress healing, which was pretty good. Oh, nice. Another crit, more stress healing. The critting was actually bad because it moved the ectoplasm forwards, so I couldn't hit it with the abyssal artillery, or as I call them, the sky slaps. Bleed. That's really frustrating. I could have taken a little bit more recovery there.
The offensive.
Again, we'll be looting all of this stuff on the way back with low light. Ugh. Thankfully, we don't have anyone who's kleptomatic or anything even similar. Can I get some scouting, please? Just some. At all. I'm going into all of these rooms in highlights, so I can't remember exactly the chance for scouting, but it's not 0. I'm not going to pump the torch before I go into this room, and I'm probably not going to pump it until I get to the very end. Yeah. One hallway fight in low light is fine. Hey, we even surprised him. One down.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Two down.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
I obviously didn't want to start pumping the torch because now that I've come all the way up here, I'm going to turn the light out and then go all the way back down in low light. So looting this, you need to use a bandage in order to protect your hands during the search.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
So we've only used 4 torches so far, which is relatively low.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
It's going to be either the grave robber or the... Hang on. Resolve is tested. Rapturous!
The mind cannot hope to withstand such an assault.
So, flagellants become rapturous. What do they do when they're rapturous? They get +3 to their speed. They also get +25% to their damage. Although, I think they'll occasionally take turns. Okay, your chance is 80, your chance is 110. I'm not going to risk it. Cool. Another curio with which to interact. Unless I get a scout, I'm not going to go down in that direction. Into the up center of the W. This could be a problem. Guess I'll have Vavasaur do it. Because I could just get 50 stress from this. Someone less valuables inside the tent. Oh, baby.
Waiting to be spent.
I probably don't need another shovel. So I'll neglect to take that. Especially seeing as I've used none of them so far. Now, the reason I checked if we had anyone with high blight resist is because the worst that this eerie tree stump can do if you don't interact with it using anti-venom, that is to say, if you use anti-venom, you interact with it safely. But if you don't interact using anti-venom, the worst it can do is blight you. So it's probably not a bad idea for me to rest now. I mean, we have some stress across our party. That's not the big reason why we're resting, either. Oh god, do I have any way to prevent nighttime ambush in this party? Oh, wow, I don't. Oh. I might get nighttime ambushed. I didn't even think about that. Frankly, that's my bad. We're going to rest here. It's going to free up a little bit of space in the inventory, but more important than that, it's going to turn the light back on without using just 4 torches. And it's going to give us some
A spark
buffs.
without kindling is a goal without hope.
So, Lash's Kiss, 4 battles of +3 speed. You don't really need that. Plan takedown, plus 25% damage versus size 2. Giants don't exist in this area yet. Giants start existing in medium and veteran level dungeons. They're size 2. Is there anything size 2 here? I mean, other than the brigand tough guy or whatever his name is. Not really. This is how we do it. Plus 10% to your base accuracy and 8% to your crit. Or rather, plus 10 accuracy and 8% crit. For 4 battles, not bad. I'm thinking it's probably time for Gallows Humor. That said, Gallows Humor is negative 25% stress on yourself, and then possibly stress healing on everyone else, but it could also be negative. Night moves is definitely a good idea for me. Get ourselves some plus 20% scouting chance. Probably also want to roll in Encourage just to lower Vavasaur's stress. Okay. Let's have you Dark Strength, our highest damage character. Which, I mean, they're all kind of tied at the moment. But Fossard is probably the correct target for this. You'll move nightly. 8 left. So we can encourage this is how we do it, and then we've got 4 left after that. We can use a pep talk. And like nothing else, I guess. We can wound care, but no one has any damage, so it's not necessary. I guess we'll abandon hope. Yeah, okay. Encourage, this is how we do it. Oh, the encourage failed. Nice. We'll pep talk you, and then we'll abandon hope. Yeah, we gained 26 and lost 25. Yeah, bad rolls. All right. Let's get out of here.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
That plus 20% scouting chance is going to be pretty handy.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Torch is high enough. Ah, there's a size 2 enemy. Damn it. Okay. Kinda just want to throw a dagger at the back line. Yeah, it's probably a good idea, in fact. Okay, Sky Slaps now has the ability to kill the Breeding Fusilier in the back line, and does. Excellent.
Give them no quarter.
Okay. Let's start bleeding you, you bloodletter. I really want to uppercut, but it's only a 50% chance for a stun.
Well,
It's a really good crit. We need to start getting some stunning trinkets so that we can actually get the real big benefits of being able to actually stun. Hey, we can now use Exsanguinate. So when below a certain point of HP, below 40% in fact, we get plus 8% crit and plus 20% damage. And now we'll use Exsanguinate here, which is a huge bleed and a self-heal. So that Brigand Bloodletter is now dead.
Impressive.
That was a 0 damage crit, if you're wondering why it did why it looked like it did. All right, everyone's dead. So I should just try for a crit here, just to see if I can stress heal. And we do and did.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Wondering if I try and leave this one for later. Probably not safe to. Most of the things we got stacked at the very least. I'm gonna spend some food here so I can start another stack. Again, let's reorder these. So I've got my loot and supplies in different areas. Okay. There we go, that's about right. Start another stack of crests. Probably not yet. I am tempted to go up just to have another room so that I can try for scouting. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. This probably isn't the world's best idea that I've ever had. Yeah, it's gonna take a shovel as well.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
Really hope we get a scouting at least. Make it worth it. As it turns out, in fact, we did. That said, it didn't scout anything useful, so lame. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of the medicinal herbs to start another stack of money. I know it's only 100 gold, but it represents 1,750 gold. Because you have to consider the gold that we're going to get in that stack in total. Which is probably, but not definitely, 1,700. There's our first hunger proc for the dungeon. I mean, we're probably not going to get that many more before the end. I'll pump the torch going into this room just to increase our scouting chance. Gosh, why do I even do that? This is a thing that I would be purifying with the medicinal herbs in order to get some more food back. Not really much other than food. Unfortunately, if I eat this without doing that, I can get diseased. And enemies, that is to say characters that have Cetomania, will just try and straight up eat that. That's why Cetomania is pretty bad. A lot of very strong negative interactions get forced by it. Hey, we double scouted. Nice. Alright. I'll pump the torch before going into this fight. Yeah, this should not be bad at all. Somehow I feel like I'm probably not going to bleed these skeletons with their 200% bleed resist. Yeah, I'm just going to lunge, guarantee that that enemy dies so that I don't get rabies on any of my characters. Mark one of you with a crit. Nice. You're an unholy hater, aren't you? No, you're not. You're an eldritch hater. Of course. Good. Yeah. We're actually making use of the marking a little bit here. Pretty happy about it. Nice miss. Okay. There. Enemy took its own action. Enemy. I mean, friend took its own action. I didn't really get to dictate that one. See?
Ghoulish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
No scouting there, unfortunately. Can probably start looking at throwing away torches. Come on, and... Right. We probably actually only need to... That is need. To visit one more room. Then the mission will declare itself over. But we'll probably just finish the entire dungeon. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least they're surprised. I'll Rain of Sorrows the back line. Only bled one of them, unfortunately. You can see here that I am actually just going to be like straight up focusing on the back line. And that is because their stress damage is going to be really frustrating. Cool, they're both dead.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Broken swipe. Oh, Banner. Vavasaur, no. My tone of voice tells you how much I care. I mean, I'd love to blight them, but I can't guarantee it. I'll try anyway. Hit them with a debuff that lowered their blight resist at the very least. I'll mark the other one. Uppercut you. Get to the back of the line. Hell yeah. Now, the really cool thing about moving a fungal scratch to the back of the line with the stun there is that's 3 turns I just stole from you. I stole the turn you're stunned for, or rather 3 turns worth of damage I dealt to you. I stole the turn you're stunned for. You dealt damage before that. I stole the turn that you are going to be using the stumbling swipe to move forwards, because you're probably not going to hit with that, and if you do, you're going to do a very small amount of damage. You're going to take damage before that action, and then you take damage again before the next action after that. So you're not doing well there, Fungal Scratcher. Just a wee bit more damage, and yep, now that Fungal Scratcher is dead before it'll ever get another action. I could have just waited and used Sanguinate, but I couldn't have guaranteed that it was going to be useful. All right, that's another dead party there. You can see the harmless swipe that it uses moving forward, and broken swipe here. Cool. So the rest of this is just going to be based around using recovery actions. Since you can never end a mission, or rather when you end a mission on more than 100 stress, it lowers your stress back down. I'll have Bulbasaur just start taking stress away from other characters. Lowers it back down to 100, mind.
A devastating blow.
I had her to do that just because she had a chance of critting, and if she crit, it would have been nice. This will probably hit for 0 damage, but it can also crit. So it's worth rolling because I could have gotten stress healed. And then you'll do that.
A powerful blow.
A powerful blow. Ooh, nice loot.
This expedition at least promises success.
Okay, we did get scouting. We have no battles left, so I can throw away these torches happily. Padlock of Transference is actually really good. The least likely thing for me to need from this point onwards is probably Holy Water, but it's also the highest yield. There can be bandits locked chests, so we could use the skeleton keys. We could use the shovels on digging up graves. We could use the bandage for the cobwebs or for wrapping up corpses. There's a use for all of these. I'll throw away Citrine, 250, in order to pick up the Padlock of Transference. Cool. Well, now I can turn the light entirely out. If anyone's going to stress out, I'd rather it be Bulbasaur.
Corners of this place.
That's a lot of loot. I think we leave all of those. I could have another hunger proc as we walk down this hallway, unfortunately, so I do have to plan around that. Good disarm. Hey! Good thing I kept the bandage. Provides a thorough search. Get 850 back for it. And highest blight resist interacts with this. Sometimes a tree is just a tree. I will move into this final room. Good thing I kept the hunger there. I will move into this final room. And that's because it has the possibility of giving me a scouting chance and revealing a secret room elsewhere. It probably won't, like it didn't. But it had the possibility, technically.
Soldiers and supplies. Let them arrive unharried.
Ooh. Satanophobia, plus 20% stress versus Unholy. Not the worst thing. Unholy isn't that common. Or rather, it's not extremely common. Unfortunately, Fossard also has Ruins Tactician and Ruins Scouter or something like that. So she's good in the Ruins, but this is going to make her worse in the Ruins. Musical. Inspiring Tune will heal extra 25% stress on you. Inspiring Tune is a stress healing effect of the Jester. Eldritch Slayer, really good late game especially. But also really good early game. I mean, a lot of the enemies we just fought were Eldritch. And Irrepressible, 5% virtue chance. That's not going to work. That's not how anything works.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
Cool. Let's have a look at our stagecoach. We've got Port, who is off guard. That's really unfortunate. Thick-blooded isn't good enough to take someone who's off guard, unfortunately. I think we'll be passing this occultist. Ooh, natural swing for +5 accuracy. You're also a wheeled explorer. You've got Hagemania, which is not a common interaction. Still would need to be removed eventually, but not common. And Automatanophobia, +20% stress versus human. Human might actually be the least common of all of the subclass types. I mean, it's obviously more common or less common depending on the area you go to, but it might be the least common in general. So I could see myself taking Thun 3. You're nervous, so you get +10% stress, which is garbage. And you're evasive, which is +5 dodge. It's okay. Probably not going to take Kel. And Spiritual means you're going to get extra healing from Divine Grace and Comfort, but you've Satanophobia and Calm. Definitely can't take Ray Boo. All right. Let's have a quick look at the Nomad Wagon. Oh! Yes, please. This is really early on in order to get a... this is really early on to get a focus ring. I'm paying out the butt for it, but... Good lord, if that isn't really important to pick up a copy of early. Like, that by itself makes the Leper a viable choice for a couple of our missions. +6% crit. You saw how often we were critting. That's super important. I probably have to take it. I could use Merchant Network here. Upgrade that once in order to decrease your cost by 10%, which is 2,500. So I'm effectively using 8 crests as 2,500. That's worth. I mean, that's worth, sure. Have a look at our other things first as well. Let's unequip and resort all of our trinkets. It's also important to look at what our next mission is going to be. Oh, Legendary Bracer as well. +20% damage for -1 speed. So a lot of the time, your DPS character, this is like old school. These items have both been rebalanced since then. But there was a very old school strat of you'd give a character a focus ring and a Legendary Bracer, and they would just take enemies to task. Ooh, town event, Caregivers Convention. So if I do this event, the Stave Off Sickness, I would get the Haste Chalice, which we've spoken about before. I don't think it's particularly great. I actually kind of feel like a slower Vestal a lot of the time is a good thing. A faster Vestal would be good if you're stunning with them, but this prevents you from using that for stun, right? But it would also trigger the town event Caregivers Convention, which would enable us to use all of our sanitarium and medical ward effects for 0 cost. If we had enough slots in there, that would be a really, really effective thing for us. Right now, it's probably not, though. Warrior's Cap is a completely fine thing to get. Just 5 accuracy on melee skills. No downside. Bloodied Fetish we've spoken about before. Definitely not going over there, but the Glittering Sporters are actually not that bad. Despite the -2 speed, -15% stress, -35% move speed, and plus 35% to move resist and plus 15% to prot is actually really good. Vengeful Grease for an Arbalist only. That's really unfortunate. So the Arbalist does exist in this game. I hope you can put those on the Musketeer. If you can't, then having the Musketeer is actually a negative. And then there's the runes. You've a Pagan Talisman for plus 25% damage versus a Fanatic who's not yet introduced. And Brawler's Glove. I mean, I can't even go on a medium anyway. So I'm probably going to go on the Cove for the next mission just to get this easy Warrior's Cap. which means that I can take a relatively low-level party. I can start working those up as well. Very exciting. There's a lot of those who need cove-based bonuses. But importantly, it means I'm probably not going to be spending that much money before the next mission, so I can
idol,
spend
amulet,
it here.
or lucky charm. The simplest object can be a talisman against evil.
A focus ring this early on is really good. I actually really want a Jester right now, because I've got a critical die and I've got a lucky die. I can just put them both on the Jester. Plus 4 accuracy, plus 4 dodge, and plus 9% crit is not bad for a Jester. That would also have us some strong stress healing, which we're currently lacking. Vavasaur will have you flagellate, because of course we will, because that's the only thing that makes sense for you. We're probably going to sell a trinket or two before we go back out. So the one that immediately comes to mind is removing the move stone and health stone. And in fact, we'll do those. All right. We'll set up for the next mission in the next episode accordingly. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Darkest Dungeon. This has been the Darkest Rhapsody Estate. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time, Karen.